So, welcome everyone to Question Just One Chapter Experiment. I am excited you guys are joining me. We're on a mission to do this thing. So, every week, our goal is to have a live book reading. Ideally, it is to find out if just one chapter can convince you to pick up these books. That's the goal. I don't know if that's actually has happened yet, but at least we're committed. I'm also committed to this whole entire new mind frame of my author journey. By the way, it's all very unhinged, unfiltered. By the looks of it, very unlike makeup and edited. So we're just going to wing it. So how is everybody? I am excited. Normally our book readings on Saturday. I had the super pleasure yesterday of being at the Dark Draft Book Festival in New Orleans. Drove back this morning or this afternoon, whatever it was. So I think I'm running on fumes and adrenaline and all the amazing things. So huge shout out to the organizers who did an amazing job, had a great time. Even though I melted to death. By the way, my vampire self is getting ready to blister. So if you ever consider if I did literally had a skin disease, I'm slowly changing colors here. So hey, it happens. Sacrifices we do for books. And I also got the amazing pleasure of sharing a booth with Violet Sprinkles. She needs to change to Violent Sprinkles, but hey, what can I say? So we got to share a booth, which meant I got to hang out with the macaroon queen of New Orleans, which is my favorite. She's amazing. I'm giving a huge shout out. I'm pretty sure Charles is like, what about me? Charles and Mark were also fabulous. So great day. Had a great time. Realized New Orleans is very, very hot and it's only June. So here we are. Hi, dear. So I'm glad you guys are joining me. Going to be a fun little reading because I'm doing not something different. I'm going to read you from a whole different world. I'm going to introduce you all to the Tales collections today, which I'm super excited, and kind of give you a little bit of an update of what this is, kind of bring you into this world, and then see if the chapters will hook you up with it. So for anybody who's new, I'm DC. Excited to be here. All sorts of fabulous things are going to be happening, hopefully. We'll see. So what is Tales before we get on? Remember, the readings also involve me giving you a whole bunch of commentating. So for everybody's like, I'm going to shoot this girl, I'm sorry. It comes with the territory. I am not a professional narrator, so just bear with me. I'm an author having some fun, enjoying the world. So here we are. Tales, I have the honest pleasure of working with the amazing Jamie Dalton, Magnetra for anybody on TikTok, to create a collection. So a few years ago, actually it's been almost 2 years now, we had an entire chat. So we tend to go live on TikTok. We're trying to get back on that. And we were discussing about all the anthologies we had participated, all the different collections and all the things. And we were kind of wanting to do something different. Like, what can we do that could be fun for us? So the conversation went like, oh, we should do a newsletter. And then we're like, do we really want to do a newsletter? Do we want to do another anthology? Do we want to do all these things? And because every conversation with Jamie starts really small and then it escalates into world domination, should not be surprised about this. So our goal ended up being, what if we do an anthology of short stories, except that they're very theme focused. So as we continue to chit chat, and we did this live in case you guys are wondering, we decided that it wasn't just enough to have a theme focus. We want them all to be part of the same world. So the idea of Tales came up. Tales is a sentient library. And the joke is, if you know what Tales, everybody knows what Tales stands for because the L is for library. That's the only thing people don't know. Don't ask us what the rest of the letters are because I don't think we figured it out yet, but that's not the point. So we created the character, the librarian, which I honestly have the pleasure of writing her letters, which they're hysterically insane, of this library almost like connecting the entire universe. And their job is to just kind of put knowledge together. The one thing that we did that we wanted to do is we wanted to do a book that was very much the authors didn't have to pay in, that you can actually submit. We capped it at 10 for the simple fact that we wanted them to get paid. So we did all the things in terms of being a very small polished price for collections. We have had lots of new authors joining us, some very established ones. And it's just kind of a really fun way for us to connect with authors and give back. So Tales was born. So the Tales collections has been, I think we're now collection number 10. As we were doing it, we also have we wanted to make it fun. So Jamie and I got hired as intern in this world and other things. So this is what Tales is all about. In the last year, we also started a nonprofit for the amazing Tiny Nagels, which is here for Evergreen Author Resources, and Tales actually became part of that. So we actually doing the Tales collections with Evergreen Author Resources. So the three of us are part of the nonprofit. The Tales has migrated into that. So this entire project has taken a life of its own. We were doing almost 4 to 5 anthologies a year. And because Jamie and I are still very busy authors and doing all the things, we're now going to be doing Halloween and Christmas. So we're going to do only 2 a year that people can still sign up for. So I think applications are still open. You can still check out evergreenauthorresources.org if you wanted to participate. Tanya also has some short collections in there. So all the things to get involved. So that's the background of all of that. That was a really long discussion to introduce you to Tales. Today, what I'm going to do is because Tales of Halloween is the very first book that we did, I'm going to actually read you the letter from the librarian. And because we were starting this out, I do have a book in here. I have a short story that is called Bloodstone, specifically for this collection. So all the stories that we did first debut here, like they're new to here, and then the authors took it to other places. So kind of give you guys an idea. And they all come a theme. So I'm going to introduce you. There's one also has a playlist. So if you actually scan the barcode for us, it has a, want the playlist that the authors listen while they were creating the spirit. You can check that out. All the books are available wide. So if you wanted to pick it out, the ebook or the book, you can. So let me give you the introduction. So Tales. And here we are. So we're going to do the very first one, and then I'm going to read you the chapter that I wrote. Sounds like a plan? By the way, cheers, salut, welcome, thank you for joining me. I've been talking a mile a minute, so I'm going to slow down, and let's get started. Well, hello, my dear reader. Welcome to Tales, the largest and most magnificent repository of information in both the human and supernatural world. The L is for library. The rest are self-evident. While we're technically a library, the title is a little misguided. Given the size and scopes of Tales, we do pride ourselves in owning every story, fable, tale, poem, legend, you name it, we have it. Ever created regardless of the format, location, and time. Our librarians are busy around the universe gathering these gorgeous pieces each day. Due to the amount of treasures located within our small city, we're technically bigger than some of those small cities in Texas, but who's counting? Our physical location is highly classified. If you're reading this, you're one of the few selected souls entitled to our distribution list. But please remember, the secret cannot be discussed with others. Well, a bit like the cave. I do hate to compare ourselves to the little club owned by the devil, but it is the most accurate description. We're by invitation only, and only by need-to-know basis. So those who know, belong. P.S. Because Jamie and I are writing within our own universe, you're going to have tons of Easter eggs from both of our lives and universe. So Cave, for anybody who ever follows, it is part of the Reaper's universe. And yes, the devil has a club in Reaper's world called the Cave. So that's where you get those sidekicks in here. So if you have been reading my stuff, you've been reading Jamie's stuff, you're going to see a lot of the crossovers in here. So here we are. As the librarian for Tales, it is truly my pleasure to welcome to our October issue. This year, the library has tasked me with a very special project, the selection of new interns. Our numbers have been rapidly dwindling. You'd be surprised by the number of competing libraries around the universe. This is a very dangerous field, and we do provide the best training. Hence, we do lose many of our teammates on a yearly basis, some to enemy poaching, others to death. And yes, we were taking shots of all the TV series where libraries are located, so enjoy. We're having a blast. But back to the recruitment process. What better way to test the skills and abilities and ingenuity of potential librarians than having them find the next great story? Submissions were open, and the library selected 9 potential candidates. All stories needed to include a werewolf component in them. I must admit, I was pleased with the results and look forward to meeting the challenge. After hours of deliberations and several containers of coffee, maybe a little Irish cream, I was close to making a decision, at least closer than I thought I was when I started, when I received a small request that I was hard to ignore. Since we're being fully transparent here, It's hard to ignore a request from the biggest benefactor. I mean, does anyone in the supernatural world actually ignore requests from a being that has more money than God and is over 5,000 years old, even if he is a talking cat? My dear Constantine, yes, why not? Why Constantine would not be the biggest benefactor of a supernatural library? Is besides the point, but just go along with us. If you're reading this, I'm not complaining at all. You have my highest respect, and we are honored to be your nonprofit of choice. Just stating a fact that it must be nice to have friends in high places. Well, it's not like our interns, like those of Constantine, have high survival rate. So, with all the power given to me by Tails, I'm excited to announce our new interns. Hope they don't die soon. JD McNectra, DC Gomez, and Jamie Dalton. Did I even see an application for that one? To be fair, this entire issue was meant to lead up to a great mystery. A slow revelation of stories leading to the big reveal of our winners. There's no need to hold you into suspense since my opinion was OBE, overcome by events. For those who don't know, yeah, still, it's only fair to publish our candidates' findings. They did spend a lot of time in the search for them. So if you enjoy the collection, I will introduce each of their applications, give you a few little insights into the potential library that I was considering, as well as some of the contact information. If you're interested in hiring them yourselves, they're excellent research and story mining. Since I officially have 3 new interns, even though I'm only seeing 2 at any given time, I might as well put them to work. P.S. Jamie has 2 pen names, hence the reason the 3, but she only seen 2. So yes, we did have a lot of fun with this letter. This publication still needs to be typed and put to print. Somebody has to do that, and it cannot be the librarian. What are interns for? Please get comfortable as we are about to start. In the meantime, please make sure to keep all fingerprints off the pages and do not bend the edges unnecessarily. We do have a fine for books damaged when returned. Happy reading, the librarian. P.S. Our spice rating systems can be found at www.jamiedalton.net/Tales of Series. If you want to see what to expect, somebody cough, the librarian cough, appeared to be slipping a bit more Irish cream in her coffee as she organized resumes. They get spicier as the book goes on. What have I gotten myself into? Agnetra, the intern. So, as we started this series, we added all sorts of fun things. We have lots of PSs, lots of messages between Jamie and I as we try to put these books together. And the librarian seriously has some issues, so it happens. So if you're interested, all the books are from her perspective. She has a theme. She doesn't enjoy people actually talking about the librarian. You're not supposed to know where Tails is at. And Constantine is not supposed to meddle, which are not any of the things that happen because, why would they? So for this issue, because it's super cute and Jamie gets to do all the formatting, which is beautiful. So it gives you, because they're supposed to be resumes. You get a little bio, you get a little synopsis of what the story submission is with the spice level. So I'm going to, since I'm going to read mine, I'm going to give you, if you were looking at it, kind of where you can find, because it's supposed to be a resume. So the bio, I'm going to read you that. Story submission, and then we're going to do chapter 1. What do you guys think? So that way you guys get an idea of what this collection is. Each one of them is a little different. So bio, DC Gomez is a fast-talking, extra quirky Dominican with a dark sense of humor. You wouldn't say that. No. She used to enjoy long walks at the park and all the fun outdoors activities. Unfortunately, due to a mysterious condition, she's now allergic to the sun. I really am allergic to the sun. Rumor has it that her true nature is coming out and her vampirism is not showing. If you'd like to learn more about her or join her at any events, check out her website, dcgomez-author.com. We promise she doesn't bite much. That's still questionable, so go from there. Here's what the story submission is. This is Bloodstone. What happens when the deadly cult of werewolves decides to bring back the Egyptian god Set? Unfortunately for the Reaper crew, this man is up to them to stop them. Now Bartholomew, Bob, and Shorty are off to Egypt to stop a potential apocalypse, save Death's intern Africa while avoiding using their powers. What could possibly go wrong? So join again on this fun urban fantasy adventure, Reaper style. It is 0 out of 5 spice level. So that's kind of what you're going to see if you picked up any of the 9 collections in here. You get a bio, you get the story submission, you get spice level. And it does increase throughout the book. So, because I'm only reading my chapter, I gave you the librarian's letter, which I don't think it counts, but you kind of have an idea of what the series is about, what to expect. And I'm going to actually read you my chapter. What do you guys think? You guys still with me? Yeah? Okay. Chapter 1, A Bartholomew the Reaper Adventure. So these are all little side stories if you kind of follow this along from Bart's perspective, the different interns and all the fun things. Because it is Halloween, why not? Friday evening, Halloween, Egypt, Valley of the Kings. Duck! Bartholomew screamed. I'm too old for this, Bob replied as he stumbled over a root in the tunnel. For a 40-something-year-old intern, Bob was in better shape than most 18-year-olds. But running next to the superhuman Reaper made him appear senile. Even though without using his powers, Bartholomew's strengths and agility were on a different level. Only his adopted sister, Isis, the other living Reaper, surpassed him, but Bartholomew never complained, even if death gave him the gifts and powers after his demise. At least he wasn't dead anymore, and he wasn't reliving the terrible day. You will be dead if they catch us. Bartholomew turned around and pulled Bob by his backpack to his feet with one hand. Bartholomew could lift his own weight, and at least 5 other humans at the same time without struggling. Well, death blessed Bob with superpowers. Extra strength wasn't one of them. He earned that the old-fashioned way, training every day. Normally, the idea of keeping up with a young Rupert would never even cross his mind. Having to run for his life to avoid pissed-off werewolves made an exception. On top of that, they were still carrying their backpacks. Each man carried a matching black backpack over their own dirty black suits. Dirty, yeah. I don't know why they're so dirty. I don't remember, so just bear with me. The only thing they changed before entering the tunnel were their dress shoes for rock climbing ones. We have to jump, Bartholomew informed him. Bob stopped next to Bartholomew, staring down at a pit 10 feet wide. The hole was at least 20 feet deep. What is this? Bob asked. Are we stuck in an Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom? I was thinking more like The Mummy, Bartholomew added. 2 of my favorite movies, so here we are. Bartholomew pointed at the 3 scrawny mummies crawling across the roof of the tunnel, heading their way. Hissing sounds came from their mangled throats. It was hard to tell where the rags ended and the leathery remains of skin begins. I'm never having beef jerky again, Bob gagged, but forced himself not to puke. I feel like we're stuck in one of those bad vampire movies, and everyone's hissing. Bartholomew looked around the walls. I'm sure Edward would not appreciate the comparison. His race to those of former mummies. Bob ran his hand over the walls of the tunnel, looking for a way out. How did we get here? I blame those damn werewolves, said Bartholomew with a dangerous smile. I have a plan. Bartholomew grabbed Bob by the waist and winked. So, page break? So let's go back. A week earlier in Nash, Texas. Slow down, Constantine told Bartholomew. What do you mean? Imani's missing. Constantine stopped, licking his paws and stared at the young Reaper. For a 5-dozen-year-old talking cat. He had a very short temper. As the trainer for Death's intern, it was his responsibility to keep track of the status of all his interns. A missing intern was as bad as having a nuclear weapon MIA. Imani was the new intern African, and the youngest. Are you sure she just didn't forget to check in? Constantine asked, jumping off the kitchen table at the Reaper's loft. The Reaper's crew had 2 main headquarters, the new one in downtown Texarkana, and the old Union Station, and the original one at the Nash. Most of the business dealing with the haven for the supernatural community took place at Union Station. The Reaper's building in Nash was a command center for the interns' activities. The 2nd floor of the building served as both the meeting area and the sleeping quarters for the North American crew. I don't need her to check in to keep tracks with her. You know that, Bartholomew replied. Constantine strolled towards Bartholomew's command center on the far side of the loft. Satellite images flashed across 4 of the 6 monitors mounted on the wall. Bartholomew pushed his curly brown hair out of his way. Stop playing with your hair, Constantine shouted as he jumped on the desk next to Bartholomew. I can't help it. It keeps getting in my eye, he replied. Then cut it, Constantine glared at the screen. This is the style, Bartholomew's fingers flew over his keyboard as he spoke. Life was so much better before you care about fashion and style, Constantine spoke, but there was no heat in his voice. He was busy analyzing the maps on the screen. For a human, Bartholomew appeared to be in his, prime, early 20s, muscular and drop-dead gorgeous. The new appearance was a gift from death, as part of his transformation to being a reaper. At the time of his death, Bartholomew had barely started puberty and was in the middle of a growth spurt. Death, his guardian, refused to have the young reaper become an immortal 14-year-old. While the body was much older, his mind was that of a teenager. Bartholomew was a very much mature 17-year-old, but still a teen at heart. I swear, Constantine, I can't find her anywhere. Bartholomew pointed on the screen. How is that even possible? Constantine glared again. We know she's not dead, Bartholomew stated. I would have felt it. Yes, you, Isis, me, and of course death. Constantine rolled his eyes. Tell me something I don't know. She could be in hell, heaven, purgatory, or some other plane. Bartholomew continued, ignoring Constantine. Bartholomew, the one is so green she can't find us on a Google map. There's no way she will head to any of those places without asking. Maybe she was taken, Bartholomew whispered. Constantine froze. The Reaper's crew couldn't afford another kidnapping of an intern. Death will lose it, and Isis will probably go postal on the world. Neither of them spoke for a few minutes. Boss, we have a problem. Bob shouted from the door as he and Shorty rushed. Bob's dirty blonde hair was a mess, something unnaturally for the 30-year-old centennial intern. Not the oldest intern in the crew, he was definitely the wisest. After becoming desk intern North America, Bob started wearing button-down shirts and a vest. Skulls covered the black leather he wore this evening. Shorty glanced around Bob's shoulders. Bob usually overshadowed his small stature. It wasn't Shorty's fault. He was only 5 feet tall, but spending time with the tall Bob, at least 6 feet, made him look even shorter. Constantine took a deep breath and turned his attention towards Bob. I'm sure we have more than one, Constantine replied. What's the drama? We have a cult trying to resurrect the god said Bob. What? Constantine screamed. Explain. We can't, boss, Shorty jumped in. Constantine stood, but Bob waved his hands in front of the cat before he could growl. But we have some people that can explain this mess. They're outside making sure you won't eat them, Shorty added quickly. Why would they think you would eat them? Bartholomew asked, looking between Constantine and Shorty. You bite one mouth and are jealous, and now everyone thinks you go around murdering people. Constantine shot his head. The nerve of them! Bob and Shorty both smirked as Bartholomew glared at Constantine. What happened? Actually, don't tell me. Bartholomew shook his head. I'm taking Isis' approach here. It's safer. I don't know. Just bring in the weirdos. We don't have all day, Constantine ordered. Shorty rushed outside the loft and ushered 3 people in. 2 men in their 50s, an older lady with a gold streak in her hair. These the crew. They were all dressed in black and white suits. The group moved gracefully towards Constantine. Shifters? Bartholomew asked softly. We prefer werewolves, Master Reaper, said the lady, inclining her head towards Bartholomew. Now, why do we owe the honor of the head of the Coleman clan visiting us? Constantine asked, eyeing the group. You know us? The taller of the 2 men asked. I make it a point to know all the individuals in Haven, especially powerful ones, he replied. I was wondering when you will come by to introduce yourself. Apologies, Master Constantine, said the female. We weren't sure if her kind was welcome in Haven. Everyone is welcome in Haven, as long as you follow the rules, Bob explained. I've explained that already. Yes, you have, Sheriff, but we heard of the scandals one client caused in Haven a few years back. The taller man said, people judge harshly because of the faults of a few. We don't blame your clan for the actions of others, Constantine announced, as foremost a pharaoh on his throne. But I expect proper introductions from true leaders. All 3 werewolves dropped their heads in formal bow. With their hands to their chests, they faced Constantine. The Coleman clan asked for an audience and invited Constantine, the female said. I, Ella, matriarch of the clan, asked to speak. Speak, mother. Constantine approved. Mighty Constantine, I have with me the elders Clayton and Clint. Ella pointed first to the taller man, Clayton, and then the smaller one, Clint. Constantine nodded in approval. Both men were muscular, with a constitution that would make a Viking proud. They resembled each other with reddish hair and deep green eyes, while Clayton was even shaven and smooth. High and tight military haircut, Clayton rocked a mohawk with frosted tips. A pleasure making your acquaintance. Constantine nodded again towards the trio. You all know Bartholomew by the sounds of it. The young reaper is famous in Haven, Clint informed them, with a huge grin that gave him the appearance of a bouncing 5-year-old. While the smile was truly genuine, only a fool would take this man for anything other than a killer. Please don't indulge his ego. Constantine shook his head. Now explain what the deal is was said. Back in the 15th century, a clan made a covenant with Pope Benedict IX, Clayton started. No offense, Elder Clayton, but we don't have all day, Constantine interrupted. Let's get to the Cliff Notes version of the present day. My apologies, mighty Constantine, Clayton replied. While you're all at it, can we start with the mighty title? Bartholomew asked. He needs no more adulations. Constantine glared at the Reaper, but nodded. Fine. Just call me Constantine. The trio glanced at each other before nodding. Constantine was known for being temperamental. Clayton took a deep breath before starting. One of our members betrayed us and stole the artifacts that Wakes and the gods said currently sleep in the Valley of the Kings in Egypt, he said. Now, that's concise. Bartholomew approved. I'm impressed. Of course, it had to be an inside job, Constantine said. Why? Shorty asked. Because nobody else is crazy enough to break into the Coleman's compound and survive, Constantine explained. Only blood members of the pack have access to our inner sanctum, Clayton explained. We don't know why Jake did it. We need to find him before Halloween. We should start blocking our calendars each Halloween to prepare for world-ending disaster, Shorty told them. This is becoming a item. That's the problem with weak white lines and a lot of magic, Constantine told them, not even fazed by the situation. What's the ritual? The placement of the bloodstone of the altar sect at sunset will release enough power to raise the god. It was Ella's turn to deliver the horrible news. You should send somebody to get it, Shorty asked, and on his way to the fridge. Bad news was always easy to handle with food. The trader knows all of the members of our clan and our mercenaries, Clayton spoke, as his hand slowly shifted to claws. Once the stone is recovered, we can handle the trader. Too easy, Bartholomew said. I'll just pop in right before sunset, grab the stone, and be gone. If only it was that simple, my poor child, Constantine broke the news. If you pop in, using your powers given to you by Death, a.k.a. Anubis, they won't even need a stone. You might as well go in carrying a welcome home cake. I'll go, boss. Bob volunteered. Can he go? Bartholomew asked. Will interns get their magical power from death? Is it a tiny amount? Constantine explained. You will have to bleed out on the altar to make a difference. Oh, God. Imani? Bartholomew screamed and turned back to the computer center. Constantine glanced at the boy but focused on the trio. We need all the information you have on the stone, the trader, and the location set. Are you helping us? Clint asked. Our interests may be in line, Constantine replied, pointing at the dining table. Bob, do you mind making coffee? This is going to be a very long night. So, welcome everyone. Let me know what you think. This is probably one of my favorite chapters. It's actually one of my favorite short stories. It's all very condensed. It's all Indiana Jones, murder, mommies, the whole 9 yards. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. And welcome to Tales. So hopefully you guys have fun. Hi, Charles. Hello, Alyssa. I had a blast with this. In case you guys are wondering, they actually put the festival together. It was amazing. So hopefully you guys enjoy Tales of Halloween. This is specifically our very first edition of the Tales collection. You got to listen to Bloodstone. So one of the things I wanted to do with this collection was introduce you to kind of the other side of what the Reapers do. So the universe is expanding. Everything is happening. You get to meet other interns around the world because we have them in every continent. And also what happens when people cross the Reapers team. They do have a horrible reputation. They're not as stable as they should to be running a haven. And what can I say? So hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you're interested in learning more about Tails, check out Epic Queen Author Resources. We have all the information. And hopefully you guys had a blast. And thank you. So our goal is to come back the next Saturday. I'll figure out what we're going to read, kind of going from there. And we have an amazing day. Thank you, everyone. Good night. And I'll see you guys next week. Bye.